Hello, dear medicos. I welcome you all to Anatomy and Physiology Revision podcast. We all know anatomy and physiology are important subjects that form the base of medical science. Hence, this podcast is for all medical students, the one who loves medical sciences and clinical practitioners. Now, why we need to revise anatomy and physiology as a clinical practitioners? Because it is crucial for diagnosis and prognosis. Now, the important thing we require to understand the anatomy and physiology in depth is curiosity. Yes, if you are curious about the human body and life, then you can be brilliant science student. Now, when we study anatomy, we need to first understand the topic from a distance. We need to understand the topic on a macro level. By this, what I mean is, suppose we want to learn bones in human body. We need to find out what are the total number of bones in human body. Then if you want to learn about muscles, then we need to first find out what are the total number of muscles so that we can go on micro level. Again, we will learn it one by one, like clavicle, scapula, like this way. This is the method I'm currently following to revise anatomy, and it is helping me a lot. Also, there is a connection between physiology and anatomy and every part of a body. Suppose we are learning about clavicle, then it shares its relation with scapula. If we are studying scapula, then it shares its relation with humerus and other bones. Hence, every part, every bone, every muscle is connected to each other. So, we need to understand this connection so that we can remember every topic and whole anatomy and physiology easily. Okay, so without wasting our time, let's get started with our first topic, which is about human skeleton. We are going to quickly revise anatomy of human skeleton. Okay, there are total 206 bones in human body. Alright, there are total 206 bones in human body. Now, first of all, we'll see the classification and then we will move towards one by one classification in detail. Let me take a little pause here and ask you that whether you remember names of all 206 bones. Ask this question to yourself. Okay, if you know all the names of bone, 206 bones, then it's a great thing. We will revise it again. And if you do not know it, then it's a great chance to revise it with this podcast. So let's get started. Here we will quickly revise the definition of anatomy. Anatomy is the study of internal structure of organism and their parts. Okay, moving further. As I have mentioned earlier, we are going to first see the classification of 206 bones. So these 206 bones, that is, the whole human skeleton is divided into two parts, appendicular bones and axial bones. So axial bones are the bones which forms the central axis of the body, and appendicular bones are the bones which are attached to the axial skeleton or axial bones. Okay, now there are 126 appendicular bones and 80 axial bones. Togetherly, there are equal to 206 bones. Okay, now further appendicular bones are divided into two parts, bones of upper limbs and bones of lower limbs. There are 64 bones of upper limbs and there are 62 bones of lower limbs. And there are 80 axial bones, which contains bones of head, vertebral column, ribs and sternum, hyoid bone. Okay, now we will first see bones of upper limbs in detail. Bones of upper limbs are clavicle, scapula, humerus, ulna, radius. Now there are 8 carpal bones, 5 metacarpal bones and 14 phalanges. So these are total 32 bones. So 32 and 32 is equal to 64 bones of upper limbs. Okay, so now we will revise 8 carpal bones. There are 8 carpal bones and these 8 carpal bones have their different names. So we will revise names of carpal bones. Trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate, pisiform, triquetral, lunate, scaphoid. I'll repeat again. Trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate, pisiform, triquetral, lunate, scaphoid. You can memorize these 8 names with the mnemonics. She is so pretty. Let's try to catch her. Okay. So this was all about bones of upper limbs. Now we will move towards the bones of lower limbs. There are total 62 bones of lower limbs. We'll see names of it. Hip bone, femur, patella, fibula, tibia, 7 tarsal bones, 5 metatarsal bones and 13 phalanges. I'll repeat again. Hip bone, femur, patella, fibula, tibia, 7 tarsal bones, 5 metatarsal bones and 14 phalanges. I'll repeat again. Hip bone, femur, patella, fibula, tibia, 7 tarsal bone, 5 metatarsal bone and 14 phalanges. So this was all about bones of lower limbs. Now we will revise the name of tarsal bones. Talus, navicular, calcaneus, cuboid, medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform and lateral cuneiform bone. So these are all 7 tarsal bones. I'll repeat again. Talus, calcaneus, navicular, cuboid, medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform and lateral cuneiform. So this was all about the bones of lower limbs. Now we'll see 80 axial bones. 80 axial bones are further classified into 28 skull bones, 1 hyoid bone, vertebrae, 26 vertebrae, 24 ribs and 1 sternum. These are equal to 80 bones, 80 axial bones. Now, skull has 28 bones, out of which 8 bones are cranial bones, 14 bones are facial bones and 6 are ear ossicles. Now first of all we'll see 8 cranial bones. Frontal bone, ethmoid bone, sphenoid bone, temporal bone. There are 2 temporal bone. One is on the left side, one is on the right side. Occipital bone, parietal bones. There are 2 parietal bones. One is on the left side and one is on the right side. I'll repeat again. 1 frontal bone, 1 ethmoid bone, 1 sphenoid bone, 1 occipital bone, 2 parietal bones and 2 temporal bones. So these are equal to 8 cranial bones. Now we will revise names of 14 facial bones. There are 2 nasal bones, 2 lacrimal bones, 2 palatine bones, 1 vomer bone, zygomatic bone. There are 2 zygomatic bone, 2 maxilla, 1 mandible and 2 inferior nasal concha. So these are names of 14 facial bones. Now we will quickly revise 6 ear ossicles. Name of 6 ear ossicles: malleus, incus and stapes. Malleus, incus and stapes. These are 3 bones. 3 plus 3 is equal to 6 ear ossicles. 3 on left side, 3 on right side. There is 1 hyoid bone which lies above the larynx and 26 vertebrae. There are 26 vertebrae, 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacrum, which equals to 1 bone, 4 coccyx, which are equal to 1 bone. They are fused bones. Sacrum and coccyx are fused bones, so they are considered as 1 bone. So togetherly, they are equal to 26 vertebrae, 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacrum, and coccyx. There are 24 ribs, 12 pair of ribs, and 24 ribs. 1 to 7 ribs are called as true ribs. Rib number 8, 9, 10 are called as false ribs, and 11 and 12 is called as floating ribs. And 1 sternum. There is 1 sternum bone. So this were the name of 206 bones of human body. So we have revised all 206 bones of human body. Okay, so this was all about 206 bones and anatomy of human skeleton. See you soon with a further topic. Thank you so much.